But first, I'm John Bachman. The sell-off continues on Wall Street today. Let's go live to New York and MoneyNews.com Deputy Editor Rob Williams.
Thanks, John. Now, the Dow dropped more than 300 points at the open, driving below 16,000. But they have rebounded a bit. Now they're down about 280 points. Retail sales were down last month by 0.3% as we bought less gas, less clothes, and fewer cars. But inflation was also held in check. The producer price index fell by 0.1%. From the Newsmax New York studios, I'm Rob Williams. Back to you, John.
All right, Rob, we'll keep our eyes on the big board. We're also learning now that the newest Ebola patient in Dallas flew on a Frontier Airlines flight from Cleveland to Dallas the night before her temperature spiked. That healthcare worker helped to treat Ebola victim Thomas Duncan and is now also in isolation. Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings.
The only way that we are going to beat this is person by person, moment by moment, detail by detail.
Well, that newest patient with Ebola has not yet been identified. The first healthcare worker to test positive was, of course, nurse Nia Pham. She's also in isolation at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital, and officials say her condition is good. Around Dallas, Ebola is big business. For Halloween shops and places, hazmat suits, costumes are flying off the shelves, but others say they're not selling much. Some folks erring on the side of better taste here, and some customers also a bit leery about making light of such a deadly disease. And there is a new test possibly for the enterovirus, which has been making kids sick across the country. It's on the way from the CDC.
When we start to implement this test at CDC, we will be seeing a significant increase in the number of cases reported.
But officials say this doesn't mean there are actually more cases of the virus itself, enterovirus 68, just more being correctly diagnosed. The disease has put some kids in the hospital with breathing problems and is suspected in at least 6 deaths. And more than a dozen new charges have been filed after the deadly attack in Benghazi today. The attack not today, the new files coming today. Some of those charges include could lead to the death penalty for suspected ringleader Abu Khatallah. The new indictment says he actively took part in the attack on the American outpost in Benghazi in September of 2012. They killed 4 Americans, including Ambassador Chris Stevens. And a candidate in Iowa's Senate race has been killed in a plane crash. Dr. Keith Buttigieg was a libertarian, or Doug Buttigieg was a libertarian candidate. He was killed in that crash late Monday. The single-engine plane he was piloting crashed near the airport in Dubuque. The NTSB is investigating. And if you're going to pose as a police officer, don't try to pull one over. That's exactly what happened in Akron, Ohio earlier this week. David Schofield tried to impersonate an officer, tried to pull one over, but of course he got caught. Another update for you in 30 minutes. I'm John Bachman. Now back to Midpoint.